Olá, TUTAMÉIA está ao vivo, transmitido diretamente aqui dos nossos estúdios domésticos com a Eleonora.
O Rodolfo.
E hoje a gente apresenta para você uma entrevista que gravamos há um mês com um deputado da esquerda da Alemanha. Eleonora, apresente o nosso convidado aqui, com quem conversamos aí na sede paulistana da Fundação Rosa de Luxemburgo.
Bom, olá pessoal, a gente entrevistou aqui no dia 25 de julho o Ferat Koçak, que é integrante do partido Die Linke, parlamentar então de esquerda na Alemanha, que esteve no Brasil a convite com organização, eventos organizados pela Fundação Rosa Luxemburgo, pelo MST. Ele esteve em contato com vários movimentos populares, parlamentares, e nessa entrevista ele fala basicamente da situação política na Europa e na Alemanha. Ele próprio teve sua vida ameaçada, né, pela extrema direita, pelo movimento neonazista alemão. Ele fala da sua trajetória, fala da necessidade, né, de organização para enfrentar esse avanço da extrema-direita, e a gente falou de conjuntura internacional.
Isso, a ênfase que ele dá na questão do enfrentamento ao fascismo é o trabalho, a resposta a isso é o trabalho de organização social em geral, especialmente aí dos movimentos populares e dos partidos, como a Eleonora colocou aqui, e eu estou acentuando.
Uhum.
Então vamos aí à gravação dessa entrevista, que ela foi feita em inglês aí, então vamos a ela.
So, Ferat Koçak, thank you so much for joining us today. I would like to begin with a general question. How can you describe the political situation in Germany and Europe? What's the status of this?
So the situation in Europe is very dangerous. So we have a fascist president in Italy, and in the UK the Labour wins, but the most of the voters from Tories go to the far right party. In France we have the same problem. The leftist wins the elections, but also the right extremists wins. And in all these countries we have the problem with far right extremism and with fascism, and also with in this way with racist politics, and with a very concentrated in neoliberal politics, and that makes very dangerous for all of us. And in Germany it's nearly the same. The AfD, called Alternative für Deutschland, an alternative for Germany is the translation, became more and more voters because of their racist agenda. And in the European elections, we see in December they expect 22%, and then we organize a lot of protests because also of a scandal. They have a meeting with some capitalist companies, AfD, so the extreme right party, and also right-wing extremists and conservative politicians, to talk about deportation of migrant people, refugees, also people who have the German passport. So I always say we have again the history of the 30s at the moment in Germany, mm-hmm. And we should fight again this extremists in Germany, and the problem was that we will talk about it later. The The problem is that the left has its own problems. And I think, again, right-wing extremists, we need a good left and social politic. And that was the problem. We have a government who say that they are leftists, so the Social Democrats, the Green Party, together in a coalition with the Neoliberal Party, but they do the same shit in a different way what the Conservatives and the right-wing party will do. So it's a very hard time for us. And at the same time, we have a lot of repression of leftist protests, of climate protests, of internationalist protests. For example, all of the protests against war and occupation in Palestine was oppressed. They forbid some protests, and if they allow the protest, then you see a lot of police brutality against this community. And in this thing, it's very strange. Germany decided which Jews are good Jews, which Jews are bad Jews. So they arrested also Jews and tell them you are Jews, but you're anti-Semitic, because you're against the politics of the Israeli right-wing, right-extreme Israeli government. And that's a very bad situation for all of us, especially for the leftist people and the social movements in Germany.
Great. Well, we'll talk about all these issues, but I'd like to make a small pause, so that we can learn more about your history. How come you became a leftist and a member of parliament?
So my family has Kurdish roots. My grandparents come as working migrants to Germany, and my mother was born in Turkey, but she comes then afterwards, and my father come as a political refugee to Germany. But both my mother and my father are political activists. My mom in feminist Kurdish groups, and my father as an anti-imperialist Kurdish movements. So it's also a fight against fascism. So I grew up as an anti-fascist and anti-capitalist. But in the 90s, so when I was 13, 14, the attacks of far-right extremists in Germany against migrants became a new level. And they kill a lot of Turkish migrants, or migrants from Turkey. I don't know, maybe they are not all of them Turkish, but migrants from Turkey. And this was a moment which burns in my brain and changes a bit my mind, because before my focus was the same focus like my parents, Turkey, Kurdistan. And then I start to think more in a German, European area, and go to youth clubs and talk with social workers about racism, about Nazis. And this was my start to become my own political way. And then afterwards I was active in anti-fascist, anti-racist groups since up to 2016. In 2016, the far-right party AfD become more stronger, and then the elections in Berlin was in 2016, and with some friends we decided to be part of Die Linke Partei, of the left party in Germany, to transport our anti-fascist fight into parliamentarian struggles against AfD. And then it was funny because all of my friends become member of another district in Berlin, Kreuzberg. It's also a migrant district, and I became a member of Neukölln. It's the most Arabic Palestinian migrant district, also outside Palestine in Europe. And they asked me, "Oh, can also be a candidate in South Neukölln, where the AfD will have a lot of voters. And then I say, okay, I will be the face against the AfD. But there was no chance to win this area. But it was only my wish to show that that a person from a migrant family fight against this racist. And then the Nazis see the first time my face because of the campaign. In 2017, there was the federal elections in Germany, and I organized a huge campaign against the AfD in Neukölln, and it was powerful. And the AfD lose a lot of voters in Neukölln from the Berlin elections to the federal elections, so it was a winning situation for us. And afterwards, the Nazis and AfD, there's a very big connection between the right-wing extremists on the streets, the AfD party, and also the police. And they decided to attack me. And there was in 2018 in the night an arson attack, and 5 minutes later, and the firemen told me that we can't survive if I sleep longer than if I not wake up in the night. And afterwards there was a scandal because the police knows that they want to attack me and they don't want me. So and then a lot of other scandals, like there was a meeting between a higher police officer with one of the Nazis, and one of the person who was on the court because of this attack was a member of the AfD, also a member of the AfD group in Neukölln. And this changed a bit my life, not a bit, a lot. So I stopped working. Before I worked as marketing director at the university, and so my life changed a lot because of this tragedy and trauma. I can't only focus on this Nazi shit, what happened. And my activism increased from 100% to 1000%. So in 2020, I decided, okay, I need also some other themes, because only to think about Nazis and what happened on this day is psychological very hard. So I decided and get an invitation from the climate movement to be also part of the climate movement. I start in the climate movement with an anti-racist view about global south, global north, and talk with the German climate movement about why are they so white and why migrant people, black people don't be part of the climate movement in Germany. And I told them yes, because migrants and people of color, they have different problems. So they don't think in 50 years the world will crash because of the climate, because the world crashes for them every day. When they go over the street, the police is there, how they get a good job. There are different struggles, and the climate movement should help these communities with these struggles to show them that we fight together, because the main thing is the same. It's a capitalist system against all people and against nature. So this was my step in the climate movement. And then 2021, it was so the left party asked me, so you're a social media influencer, all people knows you as an anti-fascist, can you decided to make again a campaign and be a candidate for the new elections, and I say, yes, it's a good idea. And so we win the elections in 2021, we get a lot of votes, and now I'm member of the Berlin Parliament and speaker of the Left Party for anti-fascism, climate and migration. That's my political way. That's a long way.
Great. I'd like to get to one aspect. You told us about this relation between the police, the fascists, the state, the government, German state, and the fascists. What does this still tell us about democracy in Germany?
So we should think about what happened after 1945. So the Nazis are not all go away. So Nazis are also part of the new Germany after the Second War. So especially in the investigative police, they become a part for the West German investigative police because of their anti-communism. So because the Nazis are well informed, they do a lot of they have a lot of information about the Russian or Soviet Republic and the positions there. So Nazis are part of the new German parliamentarian and bureaucratic and police system. So, but they are always in the defense. And in the last years, they show us their fascist face, and the strategy was always to be also part of the police, be also part of the German system, and it shows us that we live in a state where also fascists are included, and this is very dangerous for all of us, because Germany starts 2 world wars, and now they profit from 2 big wars. So Germany sent a lot of weapons to Ukraine, and this was strategic because Rheinmetall, a German weapon company, increase or double their profit after the war in Ukraine, and they double it again after the situation in Gaza. So after the 2 world wars, it's incredible that Germany profit from wars again.
Could you elaborate a little bit more about this? Because I'm not sure that people in Brazil know about this company and
It's Rheinmetall. It's a company who produce weapons and sell them all over the world. And yes, this company. It's not only this company. There's also a company called Serco. It's also a company who sell weapons, and on the same time they organize the camps of refugees in Germany and get money also from the state. So they win to sell weapons, to produce refugees, and then they win from the refugees in Germany. So Germany make profit with war in all different ways, and this in a leftist government. So that's not, I will say that's funny, but it's not funny. But you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm. Talking about the war, the spending in military spending is growing, as you just said. In the other hand, Germany is losing, GNP is going down because of the costs of the energy costs, and because of the war. I believe that the facts show that Germany is losing its pace because of the war. In the other hand, we see the Germany kind of Germany and Europe in general kind of subordinated by the US and NATO in the war. What's your vision about the relationship between the United States, NATO, Germany, and who is losing, who is winning in this war, considering these states and this economic situation?
So my father told me always, if states have problems in the land, then they start with problems outside the country. To regulate the situation in his own country. I think the problem starts earlier because of all the crises, the bank crisis, the market crisis, and also the corona crisis. And the corona crisis, with a lot of lockdowns, destroyed the economy very hard. And then, I don't know, then starts the war. Maybe this problem with corona impacts also other countries. So the countries need another view of the people, and I show them another perspective. Who are the enemy? So now we have a long time we have the situation after 9/11. The Muslim countries are the enemies, and now we have a new situation. We have the situation like in the Cold War. The East enemies and the West enemies. Not the West, so for the East people are the West the enemies, and in a different way. And I think that's very hard because both sides are imperialists, and both sides are killing the environment and are destroying our nature. Are on both sides the people who live there are the enemies, and I think it destroys our peace and also our democratic thinking way for people. So in Berlin, the name of our campaign is people, not profit. So, and we should think in this ways when we talk about NATO or when we talk about Putin and Russia. I'm sure also Putin and Russia will make profit because of the war with their weapon industry. But all find their ways. So there is a new coalition, the BRICS states. You have the Europe. You have another coalitions, and the only winner is the capitalist system. So it's very interesting because as a politician with Kurdish roots, I always show to Turkey and Kurdistan, and Turkey bombs against the international law northern Syrian and northern Iraq, so the Kurdish regions. And because Turkey is a partner of the NATO, nobody says something to Turkey. So Turkey can do what they want. Because Turkey has, I think, the second biggest military in the NATO. But on the other hand, in other places, the situation in Ukraine, it's right that they criticize the war, but why you don't criticize Turkey? Because it's a partner. So that's all these wars are, we know we are leftists, are geostrategic and have so economical sides. So Turkey is one of the best economical partner of Germany. So Germany don't say to them, do that not. And Turkey says if Finland and Sweden will be part of the NATO, then they should send us all Kurdish activists. And Finland and Sweden say, okay, we will do this because our people are afraid of Russia. It's a very dynamic situation, and I think the leftists should come together in all these countries and fight for freedom and find a way to show the people that the problem is not between the people in these countries. The problem are the governments, are nationalism, and are the logic of profit.
You talk about the enemies. What your party or the left in Germany think that are the enemies of the people of Germany?
I don't understand the question. The enemies of enemies of Germany.
The enemies of the people. Of
the people.
I mean,
well, what think
or on the other hand, what would be the main struggle that the left should fight?
I think the most important thing, and that's very funny, that's what I learn and see a lot here in Brazil, in Sao Paulo, is the most important thing are the social movements. The movements against people who live on the streets, not against the people, because against the situation. Why they should live on the street in a state with a huge economy. So in Germany also it's the same. So we have 600,000 people who lives in the street. And Germany is one of the richest countries all over the world. That's not the so there are a lot of things going on the wrong side. And also the housing problem, people who have an apartment and their rent are so high that they don't have enough money to live or to have a comfortable life. So so I think that the also poorness of kids, of families, mothers who have no partner and are, I don't know how is the English word, alleinerziehend is the German word, who are alone with their child, can't go to work because what she can do with the child. So all the social problems should be our main focus. Also the healthy system, and all the other points like climate, like racism, like I don't know, all these other problems are part of this social problems, and we should focus on the problems of the people, which they feel directly. So racism is one problem, but the effect of racism is that they don't find a job, that they don't find a flat, that their children get bad marks, even they are on the same level with German kids. So I think there is more focus on the leftist groups on the social problems, and on the other hand, Germany invests a lot in military and into police. So they will. The decision is we don't invest in schools and in the healthy system. We invest in security. They call it security. To reach the people, to show them we do something. But I think security is not can only be a part of social security. And social security you only have when you help the people to live their life in a human way.
First, you talk about Palestine. How do you define this struggle in Germany, considering all the arrests, the prohibition, the censorship that are involved in this question in Germany, and how can people in Germany fight for Palestine? What are you planning to do, considering the ties between the Germany government, Germany and the government of Israel? What is the space for fight for Palestine in Germany?
So Germany has a historical problem here. So because of the Holocaust, they focus on the Israeli government, and that was the problem, because you should focus on Jewish people. Okay, then the the argument is, okay, the state Israel is the Jewish community, but it's not, because the Jewish community is more diverse than the Israeli government. The Israeli government is far right. So, and if you will secure the Jewish people, then you should also secure their diversity. That's very important. And you can't decide to say, okay, only the Jews who are on the side of the Israeli government are the right Jews, and the other Jews are bad Jews, and arrest them. So then you do the same shit like in the 40s. And we fight for our spaces, and it's not a, so that's also the German newspapers always talk about pro-Palestine, pro-Israel. So, but it's a fight not for pro-Palestine or pro-Israel. It's a fight for pro-humanity, pro-human rights. So you see there is a war, this is a massacre. You should do something. And in Germany there are also left people, they say nothing because of this complicated situation. But it changes. The last situation, not this actual situation, the last situation in Gaza was more worse. So Germany forbid us to protest more than 1 month. Are all protests because of the situation in Gaza was forbidden, and they arrest people who meet together, who has a kufiyah. Although they don't want to protest, they only go with the kufiyah to a shop to buy something, they arrest them. So, and the court decided that this is illegal, but also the newspapers and the press, they only write when this happened, and the police go inside, and the police say they are all anti-Semitic. This is the headline in all newspapers. And when the court decides that this was not true, no one write about this. So it's very anti-democratic, because you show the people who fight for human rights in Palestine, Israel, and Gaza, everywhere, as bad and dangerous people who are all anti-Semitic. And it's for Germany especially very dangerous, because the right-wing extremists, they try to change the mind of people when they think about anti-Semitism. That they don't think Holocaust, they think about Arabic people, Muslim people. They are the anti-Semitic, we not. But anti-Semitism is more than the state Israel. Anti-Semitism is a problem of Christianity. So it's deeper. And the genocide in the Holocaust was a level, you can't forget this, but they try.
Anyway, despite all this repression, there were lots of big demonstrations in Europe and Germany, pro-Palestinian people. Can you tell us about how they were organized, the people that were involved in this? What were the importance of these demonstrations that happened despite all this repression that you just cited?
The biggest problem is that Germany put all together, and all of them are the same. So you can't decide which protest is from which group. So is it the leftist protest? Is it the protest from a religious group? So because the government do this, that they put all together and oppress them in the same way. And you know, oppression have the effect that the people come together because of the oppression. And then Germany can say, oh, all of them are on the side of Hamas. So, and all of them are terrorists. And that's their strategy. And but the thing is, what the people do is, especially social media, they show what happened on this protest, and spread the word to the world. And the situation of Germany is very bad at the moment, because all people say, hey, what happened in Gaza is bad. We should do something. But Germany say, no, we are on the side of Israel and we send them weapons because they have the right to self-defense. That's not self-defense.
It's a genocide.
So, yeah.
You talk about this danger time.
Okay, one moment, because you
yes.
say genocide. And it's typical because I'm a politician. So there's a big fight about words.
Yes.
Genocide,
Yes.
apartheid. And I know a lot of people use these words. But the problem is, in Germany, when you use these words, you stop the communication with the other side. And I think it's important to be on a level that you can communicate with people who don't use these words because of their historical part. So I think it's not important which word you use. It's more important how you can reach the people to show them what happened. And that's my point why I don't use...
What word do you use?
I use massacre, in German Kriegsverbrechen, I don't know what the English word is, racism, a racist state, it's a extreme right government, it's a fascist, there are fascist people inside. To explain it in words which the people understand. If I use these trigger words, it's great, so my Palestinian friends will love me more. I fight with them together. But on the other side, I, as a parliamentarian, has also the responsibility to reach the people who don't understand this situation and who are maybe afraid of to do or to say something. And I tell you this to understand the situation in Germany. But it's great. So also Amnesty International, Germany, always be a bit more, how do you say it, try to handle the situation, are now straight and say what the situation is.
In the beginning you said that we are living a hard time, dangerous time. And you say something about the left should act in a united view. Do you believe that the right wing, the extreme right, are connected all over the world? There is a kind of international of the right wing ideology.
I think that their agenda is the same. So it's to have a strong national state, a strong economy with a lot of poor people who work like slaves, and the rich people make their profits. So that's what the right-wing people, what their ideology is, but they tell in all countries the same to the people. Yes, you have more rights than the enemies, so the migrant people. So in the USA are the Mexican people. Here in Brazil are the indigenous or black people, and they split the community and try to focus on white and privileges people, also to win the elections. The white and privileges people, they have the money, so so they are connected, not always directly, but in a different way. So if Trump wins the elections, then Bolsonaro in Brazil has good chances, or the Bolsonaristas, not only the person, but this ideology. The same in Europe. The right-wing parties have better chances to win, and they will support each other because they're on the same ideological way. And I think on the other hand, it's important, and leftists have a big problem because we are always splitted. So Trotskyists are splitted in 5 different ways or 10 different ways. Marxists, Leninists, I don't know, Social Democrats, and so on. And we don't find the way to come together. But my hope is that what I see here in Brazil, that leftist groups can come together to fight against fascism, but that's not the end of the way, because afterwards, if you have a big coalition like Lula, you should handle this coalition. Otherwise, the right-wing extremists will win again. So we have the same problem in France now. Mélenchon should handle the situation with Macron, and they lose, but they are actually on the power. So it's always a bad situation if you find a way in a big coalition to fight against the right-wing extremists to fascists. But on the other side, you can't let them the space. So I think that's a problem. And the leftists should come together, especially the radical left. So not the Social Democrats, and maybe not only the radical left, but the left groups all over the world. I think we should learn from each other, and we should live international solidarity. And we can see it in the Kurdish movement. It is one of the biggest and longest leftist movement all over the world. So they built in 1978, and they exist very strong in 4 countries since then. So, and they change in some parts their strategy, but they don't become more in the middle. So they go their way as a radical left group, and that's against the system. And that's very important, that we don't lose our profile against the capitalist system. Otherwise, we have no difference to the other parties like the Green or the Social Democrats, who are neoliberal.
So, but this coming together of the left can be like a bureaucratic thing. As I understand, I don't know. It should be based on some collective goal.
Yeah.
Which could be this? I mean,
yeah, I think
the right has, the extreme right has like one word,
yeah.
one message.
Yeah.
It's not racism and sexism, and
yeah.
It's just one message.
Yeah.
Can the left have this one message for the world?
It's a good question. So because we fight in a lot of places, because the burn of the capitalist system is everywhere, and we run to this place and fight against the fire, and when we win this fight, then we see, in another place the burning is started again. So it's like in a wood where the fire starts from everywhere in a very hot atmosphere. So I think it's more important to how we can reach the people, and we reach the people when we talk with them about their problems, individual problems, to see where are the problems all the same. And I think that's the problem of the working class, that the salary are not enough, and the rich people have a lot of money. So we should talk with them with their individual problems, but also show them that the money is there. But the money is, how do you say it in English, verteilen, so the money is here, and we should change it. We should have more taxes for the rich people to get the money and to use the money for for better schools, for a better healthy system, for mobility, public transportation, not a cheap, priceless public transportation. Why not? So I think this is important to communicate with the people, not in this way, oh, the capitalist system is the wrong system, we should fight against this. No, we should talk with them about their problems and then show them what happened because of this system, to win them for our movements. And I think we should, I think that's a very leftist view, but I think we create and change the politics more from the streets than from the parliament. So it's more important to be also as a parliamentarian, to be part of the social movements. And I came from the social movements, and I'm actually in a lot of movements integrated. Not as a parliamentarian, they always told me, we don't like parliamentarians, but we like you. You are part of our movement as an activist. So I'm activist in a parliament, and I use all of my resources to support the movements on the streets, because this is the way to change the politic and to have more influence in the politic. Because you have the English word, you have a lot of companies who try to influence the politicians, and our strength, they have the money, and our strength is the people on the streets. And that's also the reason why we decided in Berlin-Neukölln, our members of parliament, they only have a salary of a worker. We give all of our money back to the political fight, to have enough money to make a campaign like other parties who get money from the companies. The left party in Germany is the only party who don't get money from companies and don't want money from companies.
And how to talk about all of this with the young people, because you see here in Brazil, in Argentina, I believe in Germany too, the younger people are seduced by the right wing. How can we change this, and what's the importance of social media in this work of seducing the younger generation because today seems like the revolution is on the right. They try to sell this idea that the anti-system is the right. How can change this narrative?
So it's not a revolution of the right side. It's about it's true that they look like they are against the system. They are not mainstream. They show that we are not mainstream. We are different. And it's the same with the AfD in Germany. The people vote them because it's a protest party against the establishment and against the mainstream. And the problem of the left is they become more and more the establishment and mainstream. And the question is how they can find a way out of this view or identity as a mainstream party. And I think social media is very important for this. I'm also a social media influencer. My name on Instagram and TikTok is Der Neuköllner. It was my strategy to communicate with people from Neukölln. Der Neuköllner means the guy from Neukölln. And I talk on my social media accounts about the problems in Neukölln, but also about general problems. But focus is to pick up the people with their problems in their communities in Neukölln. And in Germany, the right-wing party AfD, they start very early to occupy social media. And yes, we should also do this on a leftist way with but the problem is leftists. So we lose our identification as a party or a group or a movement of the people, because we are a lot of academics and we talk as academics and the people don't understand us. So I'm also academic, but I can't talk as an academic. I talk like on social media, especially, like I talk with my cousins who are 16, 17, like I'm on the street. So that's important to find another way to communicate, not the academic way of communication from the highest down. So we need more people who are also not academic. So like I meet a parliamentarian from Sao Paulo, I forget her name. She was from the working class, so it's real. So when she talk and when she listen, she understands the people because she feel what the people say. And when she talk that the people understand what she talk, and the people feel what she talk. And I think that's important. We don't need a lot of academics on higher positions. We need the working class on higher positions. Not higher positions in a hierarchy, more in a higher position, like that they have visibility, that the people listen to them. And we should use social media to give these people more visibility and more reach.
You talked about a person you met here in São Paulo. Can you tell us a bit about your visit to Brazil? What's your mission? People that you have talked to. You are going to Argentina too,
so it's not a mission. It's more have more experience how leftist groups works here. I meet MST, MTST, so more the popular movements. We don't have popular movements in Germany, so it's based deep in the community, MST and MTST. To learn from them, how they are connected with political groups, with parties, and now because of the elections here in Sao Paulo, to understand. I meet some politicians from PSOL and also from PT. We are on the foundation of PT with on a bigger meeting about right-wing extremism. There are also some people from France who talk about situation in France, and one of the most important things in this region is for me environmental racism and environmental colonialism, or how we call it, green colonialism, because of lithium in Argentina and also Amazonas and all resources which the North needs to create their new green lifestyle with a lot of with killing a lot of nature in the same way. So and then next year is the COP 30 here in Brazil, and I think about what strategy will we have as a leftist, and how I can communicate the information from here to people in Germany, to the movements, and especially the thing lithium is very important for us, because we have in the region Berlin, Brandenburg, Tesla, and Tesla need this lithium. So that's also the reason why I also moved to or visit Argentina to talk also there about lithium and the environmental, ecological problems. But in the same way, one of my main topics is also police violence. And we have this problem here in the favelas, also that the police is very well connected to the right-wing parties and right-wing extremists. And we have the same situation actually with the government of Milei, which is neoliberal, or how did Millet say this? They're anarcho-capitalists. I never heard this word before, so when my anarcho friends told me, "Oh, don't use this word with capitalism," and to understand what happened there at the moment, and also the two countries you fight against Bolsonaro wins, and in Argentina they start the fight against Millet. And there are a lot of police repression. I will also talk with the people from the protests. And then I will go back with this information and show what I learned from here and can do in Germany to be in a better international solidarity with Argentina and Brazil.
Maybe it's a little bit early to ask you that, but what do you think it will happen in the election, national election next year in Germany?
I think the conservatives will win, and I think the conservatives will go in coalition maybe with the Greens or with Social Democrats. The right-wing party will also get more votes. So it's also dangerous because we have elections not next month, in September, in some local parliaments, regions in Berlin, Thüringen, Brandenburg, and Sachsen, and the AfD will become the most votes. They will win these elections, and hopefully
In Berlin too?
in Berlin not, but in Thüringen it was some states in the east of Germany, and yes, and we organize now a lot of protests especially to show the conservatives that they don't go with this fascist group in a coalition, because in the 1930s it starts also in these regions, and also with the conservatives who say, okay, we go in a coalition to show the people that they don't have a strategy how they will help the people. They only talk a lot of things, but they can't do good politics. But that's the wrong way. So in the federal elections, I think for the left, it's very important to, we split in two parties. That was great because there are a lot of things we are in the last 2 or 3 years in our own struggles, and now we have the chance to find a new profile for the Die Linke, and there's BSW. I don't know how to localize BSW because they have very good positions in social politics. They are left. The migration politic are, for me, it's more on the right side, and the economic politic are more neoliberal. So it's a mix. So she's very good and this is what I like on this point. She's very good to use the populist things in all parties, from all parties, to get more reach. So I think it's better when this Bündnis Sarah Wagenknecht get more votes than the AfD. But the problem is that they get a lot of votes from the left, because in the left they have a huge fan base, and so we get only 2.7% the last elections, and only this groups of the left party wins or lose not so much, where the connection is with the social movements, like in Neukölln. So I hope that we can find a new profile, a more radical anti-capitalist profile, and get a visibility far from the establishment and mainstream. That's I think important to also become part in the new elections of the new parliament.
Okay. Well, I know you have very little time now, but just one question before we go to the end. One topic that was just passed by is the BRICS. So what do you think is the importance of the BRICS that are now a great number, the importance to the world situation, world economy, or even world peace?
I don't have enough information to answer this question, but I think with my low information, I think it's very important that that countries from the global south come together. But on the other side, these countries have also capitalist interests, also interests against the nature, against the people. So I think it's not important what the name is. In the constellation, I think it's good to have a concurrence between the states, Europe, USA, and the other states. But we should focus on the social movements in all the states to come together. And this coalitions in an economic way have not a left project. It's a neoliberal project and a capitalist project. Hopefully we find a way to fight with the movements in all these countries, BRICS, European Union, all together against the neoliberal and the capitalist system.
Great. We'd like to thank you very much for your time, your talk here to TUTAMÉIA, to the people that are our audience. And we'd like just now, no questions, but what is your message for the people that are with us now, the people that will be with us in the internet?
So my most important message is also a question how we can come together, but it is important to come together. And I think it's important to show what is the same struggle in all the movements. And I always say this, the capitalist system is the base, or the fight against capitalist system is the base where we should come together. Feminist movements, queer movements, climate change movements, social movements, anti-racist, anti-fascist movements, working class movements. And I always say we are like 5 fingers of one left fist. And solidarity is the power of this fist. And so international solidarity is the most important thing what we have.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.